Rivers by Grant Somerville. Rivers are naturally occurring and are found all over the world. Rivers start in mountains where tiny streams are formed that are called gullies. Two or more streams formed together are called tributaries, which eventually turn into rivers when more join together. Rivers eventually flow into a larger body of water. Rainwater, snow, ice, and runoff are what cause these little streams that form rivers. There is no average precipitation numbers for rivers because they are found all over the world and we simply cannot count them all. So I chose the Amazon River. The Amazon River has an average precipitation per year of 90 inches, but has exceeded in the past 236 inches of rain. There is no way to find the average temperature of rivers because they are found all over the world, so I chose the Amazon River to talk about. This is a climatogram of the Amazon River. Although it is in Celsius, if you converted it to Fahrenheit, you would find that it has an average temperature of 79 degrees. Here is a picture of some of the major rivers. As you can see, they are spread out across the world, and there are no specific latitudes of where rivers are found. Altitude and location can affect temperature and the speed at which rivers flow at. Since rivers are so spread out, the condition of them varies. In some places, rivers are full of nutrient-rich waters where organisms thrive, but in other places, rivers can be polluted where organisms have a hard time surviving. Rivers can be both acidic and basic, but they tend to hover around 7 on the pH scale. Rivers can change from being acidic to basic and vice versa due to natural events and pollution. Some characteristics of rivers are that they can be both shallow and deep depending on their location and size. Rivers can flow fast and slow varying on their size, depth, and plant life. Rivers tend to be more narrow at the start and gradually become wider as they near the larger body of water. Some abiotic factors include the flow of the river and the amount of oxygen present. Some organisms need slow-moving water so they don't get swept away, while other organisms prefer the fast-moving water. All the organisms need the oxygen present in the water to survive. Primary producers in rivers include algae, cattail trees, vegetation, and plankton. All of these are crucial to the survival and overall health of the river. It is hard for phytoplankton to survive in rivers because of the flow and current, but in slow-moving rivers, phytoplankton thrive. Primary consumers include ducks, beavers, minnows, and muskrats. These consumers feed off the vegetation and plankton found in the rivers. One predator-prey relationship found in rivers are anacondas to rodents. The anacondas will tie itself around the rodent and eventually eat it. Another is bass to minnows. Bass are fish that consume minnows and other types of small fish. The final predator-prey relationship is grizzly bears to fish. The grizzly bear will capture the fish as they try to jump upstream, seen in the picture. It is hard for plants and vegetation to survive in rivers due to the strong currents and fast-moving waters. For this reason, plants adapt. Plant adaptations include rooting themselves into the ground with many thick roots to keep themselves held in place. Just like plants, animals have to adapt as well. Animal adaptations include water dynamic bodies to help reduce drag, evolution from water to land and water, as seen in the picture of the tadpole turning into a frog, and lastly, thick skin coats to keep warm in the frigid waters. Rivers accumulate major damage from human activities such as coal-burning power plants. Coal-burning power plants produce immense amounts of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other harmful gases which rivers absorb. Just like in the ocean, these harmful gases causes river acidification, which causes the river to become more acidic and lets algae grow wildly, which can make the river very dirty. It can also cause it to slow and take away much needed food from organisms. The fix for this is to convert to healthier energy sources such as solar power. Another harmful human activity is throwing away trash in our waterways. Trash such as plastic bottles take thousands and thousands of years to biodegrade, so they just sit there floating, waiting to be mistakenly eaten as food by a harmless animal. Animals can become caught in discarded nets, making them unable to swim, eat food, and survive. Some ways we can fix this is to recycle, limit the amount of trash we produce, and use fishing line recycling bins. The role of the southern river otter is to control the fish population and maintain a balance within their ecosystem. The southern river otter is currently endangered. In 1986, it was at the intermediate level, and then in 1988, it moved up to the vulnerable level. And finally, in 2000, the southern river otter became endangered. Characteristics that make them vulnerable include their habitat and fur. The southern river otter's habitat is causing it to move closer to extinction because these habitats and ecosystems are being destroyed and built on. Deforestation, construction, and flooding due to the deforestation are all contributing to their decline. The southern river otter's fur is very valuable. During 1910 to 1954, a total of 38,263 otter pelts were exported from Chile. Even though hunting them is now illegal, it is very hard to enforce the law. Because most studies of these species have been made based on indirect signs of the species, there are no estimates on the size of their subpopulations today. Unfortunately, there is no action plan that currently exists for the southern river otter. International trade of the southern river otter is prohibited under its listing in the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, also known as CITES. The species is also listed in the Convention of Migratory Species. Although the southern river otter is mentioned in these laws, it is very hard to protect them due to the fact that there is not enough enforcers.